us humans, we used to be present as well before we developed thought. So we used to be more like animals, just here and now. Hunting, whatever we were doing, we were here and now, like present, not stuck in thought. And then we developed thought. And developing thought has allowed us a lot of amazing advancements and inventions. And it started with things like the fire, the wheel, and then it became more and more and more complex and complicated. And then comes industrial revolution, fast forward comes computer, comes AI. And the problem is that we've got lost in thought. It's an amazing tool when you use it consciously, whenever you want. But the problem is that thought is using us. It grabs all our attention. We're literally addicted to thinking, and we think that we have to think. The ego uses thought. It's addicted to thinking to confirm its identity as a separated self. We think that our thoughts are ours, that we need to think to control things, to solve things. We think that we're in control. When we have a problem, we think to come to a solution to our problem. I think it was Einstein who said you can't solve a problem with the same level of consciousness that created it. You're not going to solve everything on a thought level. Maybe, like a math problem, you need to think. Like there's times where you use thoughts. The problem is that we've got lost in thought as a society and individually. And it has this like magnetic pull. So I can decide 1 second that, oh wow, if I stop thinking, like it's so nice. And I have spiritual friends who told me like, oh, it's impossible to stop thinking. And I think at that time I was just like nodding my head like, yeah, but nodding my head like, yeah. Even though I didn't agree, but I didn't want that person to feel like I can do something that they can't. But it's not impossible to stop thinking, and it's actually easy. And the key is to tune into your body with your attention and your breath. We're addicted to thinking, and I can literally decide 1 second that, okay, that's it. I know now that all my problems disappear and dissolve when I just stop thinking. Like I'm suffering in my thinking mind. That's where I'm suffering. Obviously, a sensation can be uncomfortable too, but I don't know. You feel it, you have a resistance to feeling it, but if you actually feel it, there's peace on the other side of that initial uncomfortable feeling. But with thoughts, it's like endless, and you get lost in it, and you paint different scenarios. One is worse than the other, and it's just a never-ending loop of suffering. And so when I realized that, and I just stopped thinking, it feels so good. And all my problems disappear. I know that everything is fine. And I can decide like, okay, if I just don't think ever again, everything is gonna be good. I'm supported by the universal intelligence. And if I stop thinking, I can actually let it flow freely through me. So I can decide that like firm here and now, with all of my attention, with all of my power and intention. I decide here and now that I am not gonna think more. Today, I realized it's a good tool to have, but I'm not gonna get lost in thoughts. I can literally decide that, and then seconds later, I'm like, oh my God, what is that doing there? Why did I not do this? Who's doing the dishes? I live alone. I'm gonna do the dishes. The dog's not gonna do it. That was a bad example. But anything, any thought, and then our attention is like, so it's just good to know it's nothing bad when I speak about these things and mechanisms of the ego. The ego is not bad. It's not something that you gotta fight, because what you resist persists, and it's not something evil. But it's good to know its mechanisms so that you can be aware of it. Problem is not the ego. It's not something bad that you have to fight. The problem is being identified with it, because it does make you suffer. If you're 100% identified with your ego, with all the, you will suffer, because it tries to control what it can't control. It attaches to things that, you know, tomorrow is not yours. The ego is never here and now. It will suffer. If you identify 100% with your ego, you will suffer. It's not something bad. You can choose that, you know. But it's good to know that we're choosing it, so we can't complain. If we suffer, it's because we are attaching to a smaller version of ourselves than what reality really is, because we are divine. We are universal intelligence and love. So every time we actually suffer, it's because we have, on one level, chosen to. Our thoughts are also something the ego uses to entertain. We're getting entertained by ego. We're choosing to think. We're choosing drama because it's entertaining. We could just chill right now and know that everything is happening in God. Whenever I remember that literally we are inside God and it's all happening within God. You can replace that word with universal intelligent love if you want, or whatever you want to, not whatever, but yeah, it's all happening within God. So that's good. All is fine, baby. And but then, I don't know, the ego doesn't like that. It gets bored. It wants to get entertained. So it creates dramas and it gets lost in crazy scenarios and thoughts and whatever. And it's just good to know, like I said, this is not something bad, but it's just good to know and keep that in mind next time you get lost in suffering, because you can choose again, here and now. And it might be easy for me to say this because I have leveled up in vibration. And right now I'm feeling good. It can change, you know, but I do take care of my mind, body, and soul and energy. So it makes it easier to see clearly. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone.